They're thinking about it. Target player draws 2 cards. Yeah, we're going to respond to that. Going to try and bop our opponent here for 15. Oh wait, they shocked. Are they just dead here? Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Smurfy, and today we are playing Calibrated Blast Zoo, I guess you could call it. So Calibrated Blast is a 3-mana instant, reveal the top card of your library until you reveal a non-land card, and then you can deal the CMC of that permanent to anything, or that card should I say, to whatever target you want. So what are we looking to do? We are looking to hit our opponent for 12 if we use a Sign of Draco, or 15 if we use a Shadow of Mortality. And I know what you're thinking, well, you have to be pretty lucky to hit one of those cards. Well, you don't actually need to if you kind of fix the odds in your favor. So what we're aiming to do is play an exceptionally high amount of Swamps and then utilize Witch's Cottage, which says when it ETBs, if you control 3 or more other Swamps, put a creature card from your graveyard onto the top of your deck. So what that means is we just play a normal game of Magic. We're like a mid-rangey kind of stompy deck with the Kavu and the Dracos, but then randomly we can go use a fetch land, fetch the cottage, put one of these huge creatures on top of our deck, and then just throw it at our opponent with Calibrated Blast. So it's super sweet. Other than that, you are just like playing all the good cards in Modern, or at least a lot of them. You get Beanstalk, you get Fury, you get Fable, Leyline Binding, and Wrenn and 6, and obviously Bolt. So like, how bad can things go? You've got a bunch of good cards, and then you just happen to kill your opponent out of nowhere. In fact, with the Calibrated Blast, it can be the only spell that deals damage to your opponent. If they fetch and shock twice, they're just dead to a shadow, which is really funny. Over in the sideboard, we have just got some generic good stuff. We're playing all the colors. We're playing Domain, so you can play whatever sideboard cards you want. We're playing Prismatic Ending as a good catch-all, but as you can see, we are just trying to take advantage of all the different colors. You get Murderous Cut, which is a really nice addition if you play Beanstalk, because obviously then it draws you a card. Or as you may see in the video, we may draw multiple cards from it. Charm War is obviously great against Tron, but yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory sideboard. But yeah, this deck is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. I think that it's very wacky, but it's put up some good results. So let's get into some gameplay. And don't forget, if you do enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, all that good stuff. If you leave a comment, it makes a huge difference to small channels such as myself. So thanks for watching, guys. Let's get into some gameplay. All right, on the play, nice to see. Let's definitely go first. And what do we got? That's a lot of Calibrated Blast. So I think we're going to go ahead and mulligan that. Well, we've got beans. We've got some stuff going on. We'll go ahead and keep this. What are we going to put back? I guess the swamp. Like, we've got a fetch land. So if we've got the fetch... Sorry, we've got a Wrenn and 6 and a fetch land. So do we really need a swamp? Probably not. We don't need to play the bean on curve just yet. I think we're just going to... Yeah, I think we're just going to go for that. Do we have a Triome that we can get that's good with Kavu here? There will be something. Let's go ahead and keep... We'll ditch the swamp. Yeah, it's really nice to be able to do that when you have a Wrenn and 6 in hand, just to know that you can stick a land back and you'll probably be fine. Sure, occasionally it'll get countered, but it's not too common, I don't think, that Wrenn and 6 gets countered on the play. It's basically only Spell Pierce that throws you off, or maybe a Stubborn Denial in the mirror, or in some sort of mirror, whatever you'd call this. Oh, I feel like I'm officially the bad guy, right? I'm the person on the other end of the table that plays their Ragavan, and then I normally untap, my opponent untaps and plays their Wrenn and 6, and I get to be the bad guy and get to be the person that does that now. That feels so unfair. Every time I've cast a Ragavan and my opponent has gone turn to Wrenn and 6, kill it, I just want to pick up my cards and scoop. So, yeah, I feel very bad for our opponent here. Xander's Lounge seems pretty good. Yeah, let's go for Xander's. Alright, untap, play Wrenn and 6. And see if our opponent picks it up. They're going to do this. No, they're not going to rage quit. I wouldn't fault them if they did. I guess that is a little bit risky because now if we don't draw a land, but we've got a Beanstalk, I think we'll be alright. And also, if our opponent bolts this, then it's a bolt, they're not going on anything else. Okay, sure. So they're going to dash Ragavan here. I assume to finish off our Wren. Yeah, sure. And Ragavan goes back to hand. Sweet. And we find another land, which is very fortunate for us. I think we're just going to go ahead, play the land, and go red, green, play the Kavu, and pass the turn back. The difference between 4 and 5 is not really that noticeable in this matchup. So it's not like I need to fetch straight away. We can always do it end of turn. It's not like they've got. It's not like going from 3 to 4 where you get out of bolt range, for example. So opponent plays their Darcy and then straight into a Mishra's Bauble here. And are they shocking? They do shock. Okay, interesting. Would have thought they'd crack the Bauble before deciding on what to do. End of turn, we're going to go ahead and fetch. So we're only missing white. We might as well go get a Triome, I guess, in Dantha or Savai. Doesn't matter. Do we want an extra green or an extra red? I guess an extra red based on this Fury. And now the opponent. Okay, sure. So they wanted to wait for us to fetch. You can have your card, that's fine. Sweet, I guess we just go ahead and lead off with the bean. Yeah. How bad can leading off with the bean be, right? Have they got the counter spell? They do. Yeah, sure, you can surveil one, that's fine. They have got Delirium now? Yes. Yeah, I think we're just going to go ahead and bolt this now. And we can also go ahead, so I like our hand, it's pretty stacked. So I don't mind just swinging here and getting rid of their Mishra's Bauble. And try and cut them off of some of their domain. Sorry, not domain, Delirium. They've only got 3 now, and an artifact is kind of like the easy one to get. Sorry, the hardest one to get into the graveyard, because they've only got 3 baubles left in their deck. I guess you could have looted one of these away, but I think both of these cards are fine. Obviously, Binding is really, really good at getting rid of Murktides. And I don't know, something about throwing away a Fury just seems greedy to me. Maybe that's wrong, and I should have binned the Fury and looked for something else. Okay, opponent goes and considers here, so they get to surveil twice. Preordain in the bin, which means they are back on Delirium. That's fine. I don't expect to keep him off for the whole game. There's not really anything that we can go for that's going to keep them off it forever. Oh, our opponent is just going to swing in with the rags here. Put us down to 14. But more importantly, what do they hit? Oh, a Fable. Okay, that could have been scary. And Rags goes back to hand. Alright, sweet. What do we got? A Catacombs is fine. I think we're going to get rid of this Fury. I don't know if that's a bit greedy. I kind of like hitting our land drops. We want this for the Witch anyway. So yeah, let's just go ahead and swing first and see what happens. I think we're going to discard the Fury. I don't know, actually. Fury next turn is really nice. Screw it, let's be greedy. We find a Fable. Fable's good too. I just want to find that Calibrated Blast and just like bonk our opponent for a nice big chunk of damage. Alright, so let's go red and whatever. We'll play the Fable. I assume this is going to resolve. Yeah, nice. And then next turn we're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 4 potential new cards. So we should be able to dig quite nicely. We've got 3 swamps, so we can go and go get the... Oh god, what's the land called? It's not Witch's Oven. No. Witch's Cottage? I want to say Witch's Cottage. I can never remember the name of the land. Unholy Heat entered the exile. Okay, that's really nice for our opponent here. So they can go ahead and Unholy Heat the Kavu. They've still got 4 cards in hand as well, which is pretty good. I don't think we want to get rid of this. We can take a little bit more of a beating from it. That's fine. And they're bolting the Shaman. Sure. That's a bit odd. So is it worth us just putting Fury back on top now? 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of tempted to put Fury on top of our deck here, but I think we're going to not. Just see what happens. So we draw a Temple Garden. We can now respond to this, now that we know we've got the land. Ditch the binding and play a Fury. Yeah, I kind of like that, actually. So we'll go fetch. We'll get the Witch's Cottage. Target the Fury. This is such a weird way to get value in like a beatdown deck. Because we are essentially a beatdown deck at the moment. Yes, we definitely want to use the ability. Discard the binding. We may live to regret this. Because now we do not have an answer to a Murktide. But we do now have a Fury in play, and we can start copying it soon. So our opponent is going to have to answer this Fury at some point. And it also just hits for it. Like, oh, it literally one-shots them. Alright, opponent, what you got? Can you beat this Fury? Probably can. Unholy Heat. Alright, that was nice and easy for them. Didn't really put up much of a fight. And they dash Rags. Hopefully they don't hit anything too powerful here. What do they got? Oh no, they've got Calibrated Blast. You know, if they were a real champ here, they would just fire off. Who knows? Maybe there's a Murktide on top. Are they going to do it? I assume not, like, realistically. Ah, weak. I guess if they cast it, then it would then go to our graveyard. And then we could flash it back. So no, that probably was not correct. But it would have been way cooler if they had done. So they exile the Bauble. Having a little peek at our hand. Not our hand, sorry, the top of our deck. Which is soon to be our hand. What are we looking to draw here at this point? Just any threat, really. They go fetch a Steam Vents. And Rags goes back to hand. Okay. Nothing too exciting, but they're on 4. So they draw from the Bauble. They've got 3 cards in hand, and we've got nothing. We draw the Shadow, which is pretty sweet. I guess we cast it. I assume it's 2 mana here. Yeah, it is. Alright, sweet. Well, we've got 2 pretty good threats here. And our opponent is on just 4. Oh, and also, this doesn't die to Unholy Heat. Being a 7/7 and not a 7/6. That's that's actually a really good top deck. Alright, opponent, what have you got to answer our 7/7? Oh, they're digging. 5 cards in hand. Can you beat a 7/7? They play a tapped land and pass. Okay. We draw a Blood Crypt. Could have been better, but that's fine. Let's just go ahead and copy the Shadow. Do they have Otawara here? Otawara would be a hell of a draw. They do have Otawara. Okay, nice. Well, they faded us for one turn. That's pretty good. Let's just go ahead and play it again. Oh no, they got Subtlety as well? Okay, alright, well they're down to one card. Which is a Ragavan, if I am correct. Oh no, we can't put, yeah, we can keep it on top. Yeah, that's fine. They're going to hit it off Ragavan if they dash at us. Which is fine. Because they can't cast it. They'll only have one treasure. Obviously their life total is low enough, but they would need 2 treasures to be able to cast it, so I'm not worried about that. Alright, dash a Ragavan. So they really don't want us to draw that, but now they have a random 2/2 that can also hit them. What have they drawn? Expressive Iteration? Oh my god. Why would they not do that first before dashing? Yeah, they should. I'm pretty sure they should have EI'd before you dash a Ragavan there. Alright, so they play one very, very big fishy boy. And we're going to need to draw something pretty good here. Like a Fury would be gas. Yeah, Fury would be insane here. What do we got? Alright. Game is a lot easier when you just draw the card you ask for, right? So we cast this. ETB, deal 4. Copy it. Make 4. Has haste. And we kill our opponent here. That was pretty... that was pretty nuts. Oh my god, our opponent has got to feel bad about that. I mean, we did call it, right? Who knew? Fury is a good card. And so is Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Crazy. That was an absolutely insane top deck. Really happy with that. So, against blue, red Murktide, what do we want? Murderous Cut seems pretty good. Do we Chalice on 1? Is Chalice on 1 good enough against Murktide? I'm not sure. Teferi seems pretty good as well. I am not a massive fan of Kavu against them because of Dress Down, but I think you just kind of have to keep it in. Yeah, all of these cards are great. We are on the draw, so you have to keep in Bolt, really. Yeah, we've got to take something out for these. The Murderous Cut and the Teferis. I really like Teferi in this matchup. Just because he can bounce a Murktide or turn off counter spells. He seems pretty good. But the whole deck is just gas. How do you cut cards when your whole deck is gas? I think it's Kavu. I just don't really want to play a Kavu that dies to Dress Down, as well as like on the draw. I think we're much more likely to try and just grind the game out. What are we doing with this hand? So this into Temple Garden is not going to happen in this deck. So Draco's not going to be very soon. We could go this into Overgrown Tomb, play Wrenn and 6. That might just be too slow. Yeah, I think we could send that back, find something a little bit better. Okay, this hand is way better. Let's go ahead and keep... We're going to ditch one of these Dracos because we're going to We've already got another one. Yeah, I think I like that. And then we're going to lead off with a Triome, I guess, unless they play a Ragavan. Then we are bolting. Okay, we don't have to worry about bolting the monkey. Another Fable, nice. Yeah, I'm going to fetch a Triome, hopefully at the end of their turn. If they dash a Ragavan, maybe we consider bolting it, but I don't think so. Because if we want to bolt the Ragavan, then we just screw over our mana base, because then we'd have to get Blood Crypt. I really don't want to go Blood Crypt with a Sign of Draco in our hand. Sweet, so our opponent just does nothing, which is very surprising. Doesn't really make a difference as long as it's not a red one. So I guess in Dance the Triumph is the choice. Fury is a great draw. There's nothing really to do with our mana. So I guess we just play this tapped. It's very hard to tell with when you're supposed to shock with your Shadow of Mortality. Because in this kind of matchup, are you supposed to do that? Like, I don't know. It's like with Death Shadow, obviously that's your game plan. But in this matchup, I don't think I don't think that's our go-to game plan. Oh, we've drawn a non-land, which is very unfortunate. But it is what it is. Opponent goes end of turn fetch. I assume our opponent's hand is full of counter magic because they've not really done anything. Oh, here we go. So they're Expressive Iteration in the main phase. 1, see what they've got. Hopefully we don't see any baubles off the top. I hate it when they exile a bauble from Expressive Iteration. It feels so unfair. Spire Bluff, sure. Yeah, we are really going to need to draw a land here to stay in this game. Yeah, let's just pass back to us, and we draw we draw another Fable. All right. Well, at least we can go to discard and put in one of these big creatures into our bin. I think the Shadow we should put in. Yeah, let's go put the Shadow in, and then we might be able to just steal the game with a Bolt and a Blast. Unlikely when our opponent's got 7 cards in hand. Yeah, again, I don't think we need to fire for Bolt just yet. Surely there's lands. There is not lands. Yeah, let's just go to the next one. I don't think we really need to play this out. Our opponent's got 7 cards in hand. We're not hitting our land drops. I'm not going to worry about it too much. All right, we'll bring the Carvies back in, and I think we can afford to cut one of the Shadows and one of the Dracos. And on the play, we can cut a Bolt as well. Yeah, let's go ahead with that. We definitely want to go first. Well, we've got 2 pieces of the puzzle. We've got the Calibrated Blast and the Cottage, but nothing to do. Are we supposed to keep this? I don't think so. Let's go ahead and mulligan. Okay, I'm much happier with this kind of opening hand. We'll go ahead and keep. I guess a Calibrated Blast? Sure. Let's go ahead and put that on the bottom. I guess we start off with a Grixis Triumph into Temple Garden. Play the beans, go from there. Actually, maybe we don't go Grixis. Yeah, we'll go Grixis, actually. In hindsight, that is definitely the right choice. I really don't like the Temple Garden in this list. Because it just doesn't count towards your swamp count, right? And I feel like that's kind of the main game plan. Oh, I really hope we don't get Spell Pierced here. We'll go ahead and shock. And hopefully this will resolve. Don't Spell Pierce us. Okay, nice. All right. We should be fine for land drops now. We've got a leyline binding. We've got our beans in play. We've got some drawing action going on here. Another beans. All right, we're getting lost in the source of beans now. How many beans is too many beans? I think the answer is 3. Any more than 3 is probably a bit much. But 2 seems great. Oh, they're just dashing the monkey. Okay. What are you looking for off the top? A fury. That's fine. Alright, hopefully we're going to see a land here. We don't. I don't think there's really much else to do but just play another bean and hope that this finds us a land. Surely. Yes, it does. Very nice. Let's go ahead and play it tapped. Not interested in shocking for any reason there. There's nothing to do. And now we are looking pretty good. Opponent plays a threat. We're binding it. Draw 2 cards. I don't really know how they keep up anymore. So opponent hits us with the rags, and they've had a Wrenn in 6. Well, if they were struggling with land drops, that is now solved. They are going to play the Wrenn in 6 here. Okay, very nice. We were playing against a blue-red Murktide opponent with a Wrenn in 6 in play. That's pretty scary, to be fair. And they're going to have to go to discard as well. They just discard the land again. Okay, sure. So we've drawn Wrenn, which is really good. I think we kind of wanted to keep hitting our land drops. But I'd also like a Teferi in play. So let's go binding the Wrenn and hope to find a land. Yeah, I like that. I like that plan. Because we draw 2 cards this way. And then if we can... Oh, third Beanstalk is now online. This is starting to get a little bit crazy. Yeah, I think we're just going to play it. Hopefully find our land drop. Maybe Wrenn in 6 would have been better there, actually. Who cares? We've got 3 Beanstalks in play. We are good to go. Both people got 7 cards in the grip. But one of us is going to be drawing a lot more cards than the other. They're just going to dash the rags again. No, leading off with an expressive iteration. I just don't know how we throw now. I mean, I'm sure I'll give it a good go, but we're just going to draw so many cards. We've got Binding in hand that draws 3 cards. Murderous Cut draws 3 cards. Huh. That's a way we could lose. Okay. What do we got off the top? Blood Crypt off the top. So we can either play Fable or we can just slam a Calibrated Blast and cross our fingers. I like that option. Fury entered the exile. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. Make it to the moon. And now we can just go play the land tapped and pass the turn. And it's like nothing ever happened. We don't have very much to delve at the moment, so it's not like we could shock for this Murderous Cut. But yeah, I think unless our opponent could sneak in a lot of damage, I think we are just going to outvalue them eventually. And we can always just flash back these Calibrated Blasts if it comes to it. Kind of just want to get this Teferi into play though. That would be pretty sweet. Alright, they're dashing the monkey again. They are getting in a little bit of chip damage, but not so much that we need to worry about it just yet. I'm hoping they cast it and just leave it in play so we can Wrenn and kill it. Oh no. They hit one of our Calibrated Blasts. Unfortunately for them, I think they have to always just not cast this, because otherwise it then goes into our graveyard and then gives us some random opportunities to win out of nowhere. Alright, Rags back to hand. And hopefully we can find a land drop. We've got Wrenn if not. We just draw our Binding. Yeah, I think we've had enough missed land drops for now, so let's just go red-green. Play Wrenn. Tick up, get our Marsh Flats back. And now we can go ahead and play Teferi. I think that seems like a pretty good option. If I can tap my mana correctly, there we go. Now we do have to tick up if we want to stop Ragavan from killing it, or we can tick down if we want to fade the Unholy Heat. I think we'll tick up. I don't think we're really too worried about our cards in hand. I'd rather just keep them busy, killing all our Planeswalkers until we can find a Calibrated Blast enabler. Okay, they play Shredder, that's pretty good. I know a lot of people have stopped playing the Shredder, so I'm quite surprised to see someone still using it. I mean, it's a fine card in Modern. I don't even think it's that good in Pioneer anymore, which is crazy. Okay, Teferi down from an Unholy Heat, which is fine. And opponent just passes the turn back. So they've played their Ragavan, which to me suggests they want to bait out the Wrenn and 6 dying. But fortunately for us, we don't really have to let it die like that. So let's go Binding, get rid of the Shredder. Oh, and by the way, you know, draw 3 cards. Come on, where's the fetch? There it is. Okay, so we can get rid of the Shredder here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we've just got enough to Calibrate Blast. Well, we'll get rid of the Rags anyway. And yeah, I think we're just going to go upkeep. Oh no, I was supposed to get the land to go to discard. Oh, that's annoying. That's my bad. That's all good though. We can still get it in the bin. It would just take a little bit longer, but yeah, I think to be fair, they've probably got a counter spell, so yeah. So I think what the optimal play there would have been was tick up Wrenn. We go up to 8 cards, then we have to discard. We discard the Shadow. We then upkeep, fetch, get the Witch's Cottage, flash this back, target the opponent, and then they have to counter it there and then, or they just die. But I think in reality, we should be fine regardless. Yeah, maybe the more reserved play is better, because it's very likely they have a counter spell at this point. Sure. So they play a Darcy. And another expressive iteration. Sure. I'm not sure if Beans is just too good for Modern. Probably not, but I think the only reason it's not is because Scam is so good. And you can like go underneath them, but like this just feels so unfair. Sure, you can bubble. I'm not really sure what they can do that we're scared of at this point. There's just nothing in blue-red that gives you this much catch-up. We've got a Planeswalker. Oh, where's the bolt going? At the Shaman? Sure. Not really sure why they're shooting our shaman here. That was just a very bizarre set of plays. We might as well just go end of turn. What should we get? I guess an Indantha is fine. Sure. So they get to draw from their bauble. They're up to 3 cards. So we're definitely going to loot. We'll get rid of the Shadow, and I guess we can get rid of the Kavi. We don't really need that right now. Then we go Catacombs. Get the Witch's Cottage. Put this random 15 drop on onto the top of our deck. Yes. And then we can go red, and I don't think the rest really matters. How much does it cost? 5. Oh, I've tapped too much mana. That's fine. We'll just do it like that. We can murder a scout if we need to. Oh, it's because we need red. Sure. And we bop our opponent for 15. What do we got here? 1 land. We'll ship it. 2 lands and a Wren. Yeah, we're on board with this. We've kind of got everything we need. We've got the Fable to discard the Mortality. We've got the Calibrated Blast. We've got the Wren. We're going to be greedy and just get rid of the Binding. And just, this might just be enough. Like, this is all the cards that we need pretty much to kill our opponent. So we'll lead off with the Xander's Lounge. Go into Overgrown Tomb. Tick up Wren. Get the Marsh Flats back. Yeah, this hand is looking pretty good, actually. Opponent leads off with a Wooded Foothills. This could be Scape Shift. It could just be Rhinos. It could be pretty much anything. I know that Scape Shift has a pretty good matchup against all of the, what they called, Money Pile decks. It's like the Cascading Beans decks. Go like super over the top with loads and loads of Leyline Bindings and all that stuff. But if you just Scape Shift into a Valakut, you kill them. So I know that a lot of people are playing Teema to try and get around that, but I think they're just on Rhinos. Sorry, not Teema, Gruul. It looks like they're gonna... Oh, I think they considered icing us there. Anyway, let's just go Marsh Flats. Go get the Overgrown Tomb. Yes, we will shock. Red, green, play Wren. Hopefully this resolves so we can get back our Marsh Flats. Nice. Yeah, so we'll get this back. And pass the turn. Then we go Fable and then untap next turn and maybe just get them. Depends how much life I guess they lose from their fetches. Oh, they don't shock. We've got the Bolt though, so that's 15, 18. Here we go. Here are the Rhinos. They're coming. They just passed the turn. Okay. Some instant speed Rhinos, I expect. I think we just go for a Swamp. Oh, are they going to do something in response? There's nothing to do, no. Just make your Rhinos at the end of our turn. Fable resolves, which is really nice. And we'll get back the land. We don't need it, so we do have the verdant catacombs, but it's nice that we do get to get the land back. And then next turn we're going to have 4 mana, which is enough to just do both. We just have to hope they do not have a counterspell, which is very unlikely considering they've got 5 cards in hand. Yep, bring it on. We'll take 8. I guess we could block. Nah, we don't need to block. It's probably not going to make a difference. Oh, they actually went at Ren with both? What on earth are they doing? I didn't even look. I just assumed they were going face. Why on earth would you kill our Ren in 6 here? We're dead in 2 hits, dude. What are you doing? We definitely want to get rid of some cards. Let's get rid of a shadow and... No, we'll just get rid of both shadows. We will play the catacombs and I guess we just swing. If they have a violent outburst and we swing, we are just dead on the crackback. Oh, the cast dead. Sure. So do we do it now? Or do we hope that they do something end of turn where they can't Mystical Dispute? I think we just pass the turn here. Hopefully they'll fetch it and then they can't Mystical Dispute us. Okay, sweet. Obviously they can still use Force of Negation, but they have to pitch a card. So we're just increasing our chances of this resolving. It doesn't guarantee it. Oh, we don't have a second red source. Oh, that sucks. So we can't kill them straight away. We're going to have to let them untap. Oh, that could be a problem. Oh, okay. I also didn't mean to do that. Alright, I guess we let them untap. See if they're going to do anything end of turn here. They're thinking about it. Target player draws 2 cards. Yeah, we're going to respond to that. Going to try and bop our opponent here for 15. Oh wait, they shocked. Are they just dead here? I didn't realize that they had to shock. Oh, that's amazing. Alright, we got this. On to sideboarding. What do we want to change? Chalices are fantastic. Teferi is also very, very good. Bolt is awful, and yeah, that looks pretty good to me. I can't actually believe we won our game 1 there. I thought that game was done for. What do we got here? Not a lot. We need a red source. We're going to go ahead and send that one back, I think. Yeah, that sounds way better. Let's go ahead and keep. We need to ditch something. Binding is not great. We'll get rid of a binding. Opponent does get to go on the play, which can be very scary against rhinos. You're generally dead on like as soon as turn 4, turn 5-ish. Like they're just very, very quick at killing you. I guess it's only turn 4 if they get to exile a card to the gemstone. So they get to go turn 2 rhinos. It always feels like turn 4. It's not. It's because you normally just give up by the time it's turn 4 because they've got 8 rhinos in play. Not necessarily that you're dead, like, but you can see the rhino on the wall. Opponent here is just deciding if they want to keep or not. What we're going to lead off with, I guess, the Endantha Triome. That going into Blood Crypt, and then you're just missing blue. Opponent leads off with a Foothills. This game feels pretty much the same as last time so far. Both of us going for a Triumph turn 1. I can't believe we still just can't believe we won that last game. That was absolutely insane that we managed to get that. Opponent suspends a Footfalls. Okay, that's really good because that is hopefully not going to matter. And they kept a 1-land hand. Are you serious? Alright, so this could just be a free round if our opponent's kept a 1-land hand. Let's go ahead. Blood Crypt. Shock. Green-red. Play the Kavu. And pass it back to our opponent. And then we can go next turn Fable. And the turn after that possibly just kill them with the Calibrated Blast. Oh my god, this deck is absolute gas. If you can deal with having a ridiculous mana base in Modern, then I highly recommend this deck. It is sweet. Oh, they've drawn the second land. Okay, we've got a game on our hands. I'm just going to pass the turn back. Alright, so I guess we just lead up with the Delta and swing. Oh, maybe we should have played the Grixis land. Because we don't actually... We need to find the cottage, obviously. What are we discarding here? I guess Fury. We don't really need Fury right now. Okay, well, there's the Shadow for next time. Yeah, I should have just played the Xander's Lounge. I guess we... So it's basically, do we want to play the Fable, or do we want to keep this for the cottage next turn? I think we want to play the Fable. Maybe that's greedy, but our opponent missed a land drop. Like, I just want to develop our board state as much as we can, and we should probably just be able to take over anyway. We still don't have blue, which we can't change, so we'll just go for a swamp. No Watery Grave. Feels like it does kind of hurt this deck. Maybe there's just enough space. Double Blood Grip seems a bit over the top. Force of Negation, our Fable. Alright, you got us. Opponent's down to 4 cards in hand. Crashing Footfalls comes off suspend. What on earth was their hand where they decided to keep a fetch land and no other lands? Very bizarre. I just can't imagine a world where you keep that opening hand. Well, we got very lucky and drew the Marsh Flats, so I think we're just going to go play the Marsh Flats and go to combat. We'll loot away this Shadow and maybe, just maybe, kill our opponent. Alright, discard the big guy. Do we do it now? Or do we play Teferi? We still don't have an untapped blue source, so we will not be playing Teferi. Alright, I guess we pass the turn, see if our opponent does anything at the end. Come on, tap out. Ah, no luck. Yeah, we're going to just go ahead and do it now. The reason we want to just do it now is because I guess we could go get like a tapped... No, we can't even get a tapped blue source. So it's not like we can even Teferi next turn anyway. So Shadow goes on top. We're just going to blind Calibrated Blast. If they Mystical Dispute it or whatever they do, they still are just going to die to a Kavu at this point. Endurance? Sure. So Endurance gets rid of our graveyard. But now they're just down to 2 cards. You know what? I think we should just blind Calibrated Blast them. What is the worst that could happen? We can flash it back. It's all good. It's all good. Alright, opponent. Come on. Do we get the W? Oh, they have a Mystical Dispute as well? Okay, sure. Well, we obviously can't pay. I think it was worth a try. Just for a bit of fun. Opponent is down to 2 cards in hand. They've got a Rhinos coming soon, but we've got a Teferi. Hopefully we can wait. Is there enough time? There is not enough time to get Teferi into play, sadly. So we really need a Watery Grave in this list. I don't know what's going on. Why is there no Watery Grave? Alright, well let's play the... Is there any way to do this? I don't think so. Let's just play the Xander's Lounge. Make our Kavu a big old 5/5. And we're just going to swing. We'll ditch the Temple Garden. And like our opponent is almost just dead to a Kavu. So I'm pretty sure this game is over. And we draw a Fable. Oh my god. We're running hot and our opponent has been very unlucky. Actually, you know what? I take that back. They kept a 1-land hand. They're not unlucky. So we make the 2/2. Next turn we can Teferi. We've got Leyline Binding. The worst thing that they can do is play a bunch of Rhinos. So you get 2 4/4s. Next turn we can do something like play Teferi, bounce a Rhino, binding another Rhino if they play even more. What do they got? 2 mana. They're just going to bounce something. Oh, a Murktide Regent. Oh, nice. Kind of want to binding that, but maybe Teferi is better. Teferi bounce it and then it's just a dead card. Yeah, I think that's better. So what, we binding this now? Teferi that. Yeah, let's go ahead and binding here. This is very much all in on assuming this Teferi resolves, which it may not, but I think we're better off doing this because if we bounce, I guess it... Yeah, I think this is better. Yeah, sure. We'll ditch the Fable, I think. Do we want Teferi? Yeah, I think we do. Alright, there's the Calibrated Blast. Let's go white. Ooh. White, blue, anything. Teferi. Maybe they have a Mystical Dispute here. That would be annoying. Okay, they don't. So we can just go minus, bounce the big odd Murky Boy. We draw a Godless Shrine. I think we're just going to... Okay, our opponent concedes. Like I was going to say, we just swing and then Calibrate Blast them potentially. Maybe we Calibrate Blast before blocks. Yeah. Alright, apparently we can beat Rhinos with this pile. Obviously our opponent had a rough game, but and we had a bit of luck, but still, we beat Rhinos. On the play, let's go. See what our opening hand is. What do we got? 1 land. Yeah, we can do better than that. Okay, this has got some stuff. We've got the turn 2 Kavu. This has kind of got everything but a Calibrated Blast at the moment. So we're definitely going to keep, and then we need to put something back. I think we're just going to ditch the Temple Garden. I don't really care about making this Kavu a 5/5 right now. Or the Blood Crypt. Oh, it's kind of close actually. How many swamps do you need? 3 or more. Yeah, we're gonna ditch the Temple Garden here. We're gonna lead off with a Triome. I think we're gonna go for the Abzan one, and then we can go turn 2 Blood Crypt into a Kavu, and then we only need 1 more swamp to enable the Witch's Cottage. And who knows, maybe we'll find a Calibrated Blast in that time as well. We've got some card draw. Oh no, we're against Burn. Oh no. This could be over before it's even began. In Dantha, yeah, let's go with that. Alright, opponents hit us down to 16. There's the Calibrated Blast. Alright, we could have a game. We could have a real good game on our hands. Let's go ahead and shock. Green, red. Play a 4/4. Now, this is one of our best chances of surviving this matchup, I think. Sometimes people waste 2 burn spells on it at the wrong time. That's a really easy way to get a win. If the burn player runs out of gas. But also just like blocks everything forever. Really, really like Kavu in this matchup. Okay, opponent passes the turn back. So we're expecting like bolts and Boros Charms at the end of turn. I think what we want to do is just swing and ditch this shadow and see what happens. Let's go for discard and draw. We already know that we want to get rid of this mortality anyway. And we top deck bolt. That could be handy. Opponent goes and fetches. What are you up to, opponent? Okay, so if we Beanstalk, we could try and find our next land drop, which I kind of want to do. If not, the other option is Kavu and just try and race them. I don't know if we're going to be able to race our opponent. That's the problem. So if we play the Kavu, no, I think we want to just up the Beanstalk here. I think we just want to set up a blast, and hitting the land drop for this turn is going to be huge. So yeah, we'll take the 4 to the face. Oh, a Helix. Okay, well that throws off the Kavu math even more. So I think this is probably the better option, because if we find a land, okay, we don't. All right, well, we'll just pass the turn. I was kind of banking on finding another land, and then that way the following turn we could Witch yourself and Calibrated Blast. Oh, not like this. Are we just dead? We're going to have 1 turn by the look of it. A Leyline Binding off the top. That's really not what we want to see. Well, we can at least throw it away with the Kavu if we don't want it. Yeah, well, we need to swing and try and find something. Discard a card. What are we throwing away here? I think we'd rather just play the Kavu over a Binding. Yeah, let's get rid of the Binding here. Oh. Almost tried to cast my Leyline Binding there. So let's throw that away. Find a Fable, which is absolutely useless here. And I think we're just dead. Green, red, Kavu. And we'll pass that back. Yeah, maybe it was correct to Kavu there, but I really last turn, but I really wanted to find the extra land drop with the Beanstalk. I do stand by my decision, I think. We took an extra 2 damage. We missed out on a loot, but we got to play the Bean a turn earlier, and I think that extra land drop was the most pivotal thing that could have happened. Because if we had found a land, we could have played it, and then this turn we could have played Witch's Cottage. Okay, our opponent is Searing Blazing here. They just... I assume the 2 cards in the hand are burn, so obviously we are going to have to block here. Wait, do we block? Yeah, in case we find a fetch land. 4, 8, 8, 11. No, we can't kill them next turn anyway. We could just blind Calibrated Blast them. What we got on top? Okay, well there's the Verdant Catacomb. Yeah, we're going to block here. If by some miracle our opponent is actually out of gas, we might just be able to untap, Calibrated Blast them. It's going to be a blind one because we don't have the extra black source. Okay, our opponent just randomly slow rolled us. You got it. You got it, bud. Alright, in this matchup, I am very happy to see 4 Leyline of Sanctity in the sideboard. Probably want the Chalice as well. Anything else? I don't think we care about Roiling Vortex. We're not really gaining that much life other than the Shadow of Mortality and a Sign of Draco in play. That's kind of niche. What do we not want in this matchup? Fable seems pretty bad, as does Beanstalk. Fable, I think, is probably worse. It's just very slow. We don't really have time to be doing that. I don't mind cutting a Rend because it's probably never going to die against burn. They're generally not going to be using burn spells on it. And one last card to cut. I guess a Beanstalk. Again, it's just finding time to use them. You can use Teferi and try and fade their Rift Bolts. That can be kind of funny. So if your opponent suspends a Rift Bolt, which burn obviously does, and you then untap and play a Teferi, when it goes back to your opponent's turn, the Rift Bolt suspend counter comes off, and then Teferi just means they can't cast the Rift Bolt, so Rift Bolt just stays in exile. So Teferi does just completely hard counter a Rift Bolt, but that's pretty niche. It can come up, like it does in the matchup, it does come up, but if you're playing like main deck Teferis, but I'm not boarding them in for that. That is way too niche. Okay, so we definitely need to go first, and hopefully we've got something good. This is not great. I think we can do better than this. Let's go ahead and send it back. Oh, here we go. A Leyline of Sanctity plus a Chalice. Yeah, let's go ahead and keep this. Put a card back, I guess the Shadow. Put the Leyline in play. And play a Verdant Catacombs. And then I guess we just pass and hope to draw. If we just draw a land, then we can definitely get out of this with the Wrenn and 6. Ironically, with the Sanctity in play, Wrenn and 6 is at risk of getting bolted, whereas normally in this matchup, Wrenn gets ignored. Oh, they've got the turn 1 creature by the look of it. Because obviously if they have a Rift Bolt, they wouldn't suspend it. Can we afford to bolt this? And yeah, I think we can afford to bolt this. So we get Blood Crypt, but then we have to find a green source, which is kind of hard to find. None of these are going to be black and green. Sorry, red and green. No, maybe we just get a Triumph here. Would it be Savai, I guess? Yeah, let's go for Savai Triumph. We're going to take the 1 here against my better judgment. Normally I would bolt that, but I think we kind of need as many colored sources as we can get in this deck. The mana is just so tough. I don't want to be doing it here. Yeah, so we're just going to go ahead and bolt this now. And pass the turn back to our opponent. So we're going to miss our land drop, but our opponent is hopefully going to have a bunch of bolts in their hand that they can't use. So this rent is essentially just going to get one land back and then die. But that's kind of fine at this point. What are you up to, opponent? What else could you have? Okay. They just pass the turn back to us. They're probably just not got anything to do. Oh, we draw the land. That's really good. So I think we just go play the Delta and pass. I'm not going to fetch Shock to put this Ren 6 into play when we don't really have any reason to. I'd rather just fetch, get something tapped, untap next turn, play the Ren and tick up. Okay, so we need to get a green source, and preferably a green-blue, which we do not play. So I guess we go for the Indantha. Yeah, let's go for Indantha Triumph. And untap. That's really nice to see. Things are kind of coming together here. So we're going to go Ren 6. Tick up. Get back the... I think the Catacombs is probably better. And now they're going to just shoot the hell out of this Ren 6. We'll play the Verdant Catacombs, and I think we just pass. Yeah, this Ren 6 is going to get shot down, I think, end of turn. We could have been super greedy and just tried to keep Ren 6 for a little bit later. Got Chalice on 1, and then just make them struggle to kill the Ren. But I don't think they would struggle. They've still got Boros Charm, which I believe can go to Planeswalkers, Lightning Helix. Yeah, I think they probably wouldn't have struggled to kill the Ren. So end of turn, we need to go get a blue source, I think, is that the only thing left? Sure, I guess we just go triple Triumph. The slowest possible mana base, I guess, you could ever put together. And what are we doing here? I guess we just pass. Yeah, let's just go ahead and pass. Our opponent can do things like play a creature. We can bolt it. And there's not really anything else that they can do. They're just passing the turn. Okay, Silent Draco is cool. I mean, it's going to die as soon as we play it, but I think that's fine. So we'll just hardcast the Silent Draco here and pass the turn back to our opponent. I'm pretty sure this is just going to get double bolted here. They do nothing. Do they just have Boros Charms that only go to players? Or are they waiting for the Searing Blaze? No, you can't Searing Blaze because Searing Blaze requires a target player. Okay, I think we're okay. Oh, and I've just realized that the card viewer on my side isn't working. Let me just fix that real quick. There we go, that's better. It looks a little bit better. Opponent goes Lightning Helix. You got it. You're up to 21. And another Lightning Helix. You're up to 24. And a Beanstalk. Beanstalk is pretty nice here. Let's go. God, this must be so boring for our opponent to just sit there and make us play this out. So we draw a card off the Beanstalk. We find a Marsh Flats, which is good. And I think we just keep passing. We are one land drop. Well, I guess we can just do it next turn. We're one land drop off just hard casting Furies. Unfortunately, they do die to bolts as well. This is just going to be one of those games that just takes forever to grind out. But I'm pretty sure we are pretty firmly in the winning position here. So let's just go Blood Crypts. It's hard to say. Maybe they brought in Enchantment Hate. That would be very, very scary. So we're on 15, which means we've lost 5. No, that's way too much mana to be playing. What are we doing then? We could just go Witch's Cottage, play a Fury, make them use a Bolt. Yeah, I think we're just going to have to try and grind them out with Furies. Eventually they'll run out of things to do. Sino Draco does net us a card here as well, which is nice. Perhaps our opponent has brought in Deflecting Palm. They probably should. And if that's the case, they can kill us through a ley line with Deflecting Palm. So I guess they do have some ways that they can kill us. It's just super, super unlikely. And I think our opponent is just like got bored and left, which I can't say I blame them. Alright, we're just going to leave our opponent to have a little think about what they want for dinner, or I don't know, whatever else they're up to. Here we go. Yeah, we definitely want to put the Draco on top because it's just going to draw us a card anyway. Worst case scenario, right? We're just going to cast the Fury. It's going to eat a Bolt, but that's fine. We're just going to Beanstalk. Eventually, one of our threats will stick. It's going to take a while, but eventually something will stick. They can't just have unlimited bolts. Eventually, they're going to draw Skullcracks and Boris Charms, which don't 1-for-1 us. End of turn, crack their Painland. And they're going to fetch as well. If we can get a Sino Draco and a Shadow of Mortality going, we could we could gain so much life. Okay, so opponent bolts the Fury, which is fine. They're still on 5 cards, and we draw another Shadow. Okay, let's just go 2 mana, cast the Draco, draw a card, and hopefully we can find something to do. There's the Calibrated Blast. Okay. But again, I'm really concerned that they play Deflecting Palm. So maybe we just try and grind them out with Shadows instead. I guess we could just Chalice on 2. Yeah, I think we want to Chalice on 2. So that also turns off... no, Wear and Tear would be white to destroy this. Yeah, so I think we just pass here. So it's 13 black. If your life total is less than your starting life, this costs X less to cast. So it costs 5 less at the moment, which is down to like what, 10? We're gonna have to take a lot more damage to actually cast these. Sweet. We're just gonna untap here, and Ren and 6 could be cool. Yeah, let's just start off with hitting our opponent here. Okay, 4 damage down. Let's go red and green. We'll play the Ren, and I think we're just going to tick up. It really doesn't matter at this point on what land. We'll play the Catacombs and pass the turn again. I think our opponent might just be sandbagging and hoping they draw in a Wear and Tear or a Deflecting Palm. Those have got to be like the only options here, right? Okay, so they suspend the Rift Bolt, which is kind of funny. If these 2 permanents died, they would... oh, nice. Okay, I did not know you could do that with Searing Blaze. And then they just pass the turn. Oh, they didn't have landfall. This game is a mess. This game is an absolute mess. Okay, so we're up to 8 cards. We're just going to go end of turn, ditch the Shadow of Mortality. Oh no, but we would die. If they have a Deflecting Palm, we would actually die to it. Okay, let's just swing in for 4. Yeah, so basically at this point, we're not playing how do we kill our opponent quickly. We figure out how could we still possibly lose to our opponent. And I think the main way that we ever lose is we cast this with a Shadows. Shadows is 15 damage and the Deflecting Palm it, because that gets through the Ley Line of Sanctity and then we just die. So as ridiculous as it seems, I think playing around that is our best option. So what we're going to do is play the Marsh Flats and fetch Shock, fetch Shock, and we're just going to play these big 7/7 lifelinkers, and I'm pretty sure they will not be able to answer all of the 7/7 lifelinkers. Yeah, so the Draco gives these lifelink. I think that's probably a better option. And also they're just huge, right? So let's go red, green, play the Kavu. And now I think we're just threatening lethal like so many different ways next turn. We should be fine. So I think they just have to kill the Draco here. Because if they don't, one swing with the Shadow with lifelink and it's just game over, I think. So now they are going to bring in all of the wear and tears under the sun for game 3. So assuming we get to game 3, that's a little bit cocky to assume they have nothing, but I think it would be unreasonable. I don't think it would be unreasonable to say, sorry, that we're in a good position here. With a 7/7 lifelinker in play and just everything we could ever need. They go for the Kavu. That's kind of weird, but okay. They play a Swift Spear, sure. Okay, they're actually passing the turn. So what we're going to do is end of turn, I think we're just going to bolt this Swift Spear. Because I don't want them to block and then kill their own Swift Spear for our Shadow Mortality to not gain us the life. And now we can go untap, play the Chalice on 2, and then they can't Deflecting Palm. And then surely there's nothing that can go wrong. Okay, X equals 2. We could play the Beanstalk first, but I don't think we really need to. I'm pretty sure this on 2, you can't cast Deflecting Palm anymore. Like, what could you have left? Oh, they do have a Deflecting Palm here by the look of it. Yep. And that is why we had to play around it, because that would have been absolute game-breaking. Back-breaking? Game-breaking? What did they use it on? I didn't see. Oh, okay, it shows you on the screen. Nice. So if we tick up, go get Marsh Flats. Ooh, let's not attack with this, because Deflecting Palm deals the damage, so that's a bad thing to happen. We can just pitch this Shadow of Mortality here. Okay, alright, opponent concedes. Yeah, so what we're going to do is ditch the Shadow and then cast Calibrated Blast, because we can go fetch another Witch's Cottage. But our opponent has figured out what's going on. Yeah, so we know we're against Deflecting Palm, which is kind of scary. Don't Does anything change? I guess the fairy is good against Deflecting Palm. It just completely shuts it off. We know that they're going to be playing Wear and Tear. So we can't rely on these Leyline of Sanctities forever. Maybe we keep the beans and hope that they blow them up with their Wear and Tears and stuff. I believe you can cast both sides of Wear and Tear, so I don't want us to get blown out by them killing a Chalice and a Sanctity or something. I guess it's not the end of the world though if we're against Burn and that happens. All right, sure. We'll cut the fourth bean again. It is a pretty bad turn 2 play for us, unless we have a bunch of pitch elementals, I guess. Yeah, this looks pretty good. We've got the Chalice, we've got the Bolt. It's pretty greedy to expect much more. I know some people like to aggressively mulligan for a Leyline, but that is not how I choose to play it. I don't think mulliganing for Leylines is a good idea, unless you're in like Hogak Winter or something. Yeah, let's just lead off with the Savai Triome and pass the turn. I'm pretty sure we're just going to Chalice on one straight away. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have some creatures to play here. That would be frustrating. Straight away shocking. What are they doing? Core Firewalker? Okay. I think our opponent is overestimating how much of our deck is red. Okay, so we've got the Savai Triumph. What do we need to pair that with? Blue green, which again we don't play, so I guess we could have gone fetch a Triumph and then fetch a Temple Garden to play the Draco. Don't really want to be doing that anyway, so I think we just want to go Swamp Chalice on one. Yeah. And we'll just pass the turn back to our opponent. So now next turn we can, well, I guess try and get a Triumph or something. What Triumph are we going to go for? So many options. The land base is so confusing. So we do need to answer this Core Firewalker because it is going to get, a lot of damage in, but as soon as a Draco's in play, it just gets brickwalled anyway. Yeah, very confused. Very confused why they brought this in. Godless Shrine does not get us closer to Domain, so I guess we just go play the Marsh Flats, and we can go fetch now. I'm pretty sure we can't get Domain because we'd need the Breeding Pool. So we can go for the Xander's Lounge or the Indantha. Sure, we'll go for Xander's Lounge. Oh wait, next time we could just hardcast the Sanctity. That seems pretty good. Sure. Our opponent gains some life. I can't believe they brought in Core Firewalker. I mean, it's worked because any other creature they could have drawn would have just died to this Bolt. So they're going to whack us down to 9. It's pretty good. And pass the turn back. Okay. Oh, Shadow is pretty sweet. We've got the Shadow and a Draco. So we've lost 11 life. So this is currently 4 life to cast this. Okay, I think we want to go... Wait, we can go down to 8. which would mean we've lost 12 life. Then it's cost 3. That might just be worth it, actually. So if we play this, go fetch the Overgrown Tomb. Oh, we might as well go for the Triumph, I guess. And then just play the hand and hope that they don't... No, they've got 4 cards. They're going to kill us, right? Well, we're going to try. Because if they can't kill this, then we can just go untap, play the Draco, swing in with 7 lifelink, and hope that that's enough. I don't think it's going to be. They've got 4 cards in hand, and they've been slow rolling us. But, I mean, if it's just like bolts and stuff, no, they're just going for a tap Sacred Foundry. End of turn, Searing Blaze. Oh, this is getting scary. We're down to 5. It's so likely that they're going to have the answer here. So the other option, I guess, was... Oh, they've got the Path. Nice. Oh, gets counted. Okay. It doesn't matter. Well, I'm glad we're not in real life, because I would have completely missed my trigger just then. And they can't swing. Oh. Well, if they have a deflecting palm, we lose. Wait, no, we've got double white. I could just cast Leyline of Sanctuary this turn. No, surely we just go for the Draco. That's got to be the best line, right? So if we go Chalice on 2, then we are safe to Deflecting Palm. But that means our opponent can just go like in response, Boros Charm us or Helix us or whatever, and then untap and use a Rift Bolt or a Skewer the Critics. So do we want to play around Boros Charm into Skewer the Critics, or do we want to just play around Deflecting Palm? Well, I'm pretty sure we're about to die to a Deflecting Palm. But there's only one way to find out. Come on, opponent. Show us the Deflecting Palm. Oh my god, it actually didn't... Okay, maybe I'm just overly pessimistic. I just assumed I was dead then. Let's just go play this tapped. And pass the turn. Yeah, I thought that was game over, but... I guess just make him have it, right? Completely perplexed. They were in my head. They were living in my head rent free. I just thought they had the Deflecting Palm. I called it game 2. I knew that they had it, and we played around it, and we did it really nicely. Game 3, I don't think we had the luxury of playing around it. Yeah, super happy with that. Sometimes a 7/7 lifelinker is all you need. Yeah. So there you have it, guys. Calibrated Blast, Zoo, whatever you want to call it, in Modern. The deck is an absolute blast to play. It's really, really fun. You can kind of just win out of nowhere. So even if you feel like you're falling behind on board, as you've seen in one of the games where we managed to kill our opponent from 15, you can, you can get some really crazy comebacks and kind of steal some games from your opponents. So if you want to have a really fun time in Modern, I definitely recommend this deck. If you cut the Renin 6, you can probably make the deck quite reasonably affordable, because things like Sign of Draco and Shadow are obviously really cheap, as is Beanstalk and Bolt and Calibrated Blast. So even if you don't have access to Fury and Renin 6 and Fable, I'm sure there's some other things you can use instead. So yeah, really recommend the deck. It's a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure if you did enjoy the content, I mean, like, you've watched an hour of a video, so make sure to subscribe and leave a nice comment. And if you want to see anything in the future, feel free to let me know in the comment section. I always read all the comments, so if you have a deck suggestion or a format suggestion or a card, whatever it is, let me know, because I'll see it and I'll probably just I'll probably play the deck if you suggest a cool one. So thanks for watching, guys. Peace.